There are signs everywhere. When you're driving down the street, you can see signs of restaurants. You can see signs for the gas stations. You can see signs, billboard signs, high off the interstate. These signs are there to indicate something or to advertise something. But do you know what the scariest sign is for those who want to commit suicide? My name is Roy Gaiter, and this program is called Deep Inside. The scariest sign for those who want to commit suicide is this: there may be no apparent sign to suicide. There may be signs, but most people may not see them. And so that becomes scary. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about some statistics on suicide and suicide prevention. First of all, I want to give you this number. That's 1-800-273-TALK. If you're at the place in your life that you want to commit suicide, you need to call that number. Now, there's been some talk to make this number simplified, sort of like our 911 number. And I think that would be good for those who are considering suicide, to just remember 3 numbers and be connected to somebody that can help you. Thoughts of suicide often turn into acts of suicide. I'll say that again. Thoughts of suicide often turn into acts of suicide. Thoughts cannot be seen. So what is important then is to be able to talk with someone who may be thinking about committing suicide. And you may not know it, but good relationships are important. Parents, you need to talk with your children often, because sometimes they're going through things at school that you are unaware of. Sometimes they become withdrawn. And the only way for you to understand what they're thinking is to sit down and have a talk with them, a general talk with them. And in that talk, they may reveal to you some of the issues that they're going through. It is wonderful if you are a parent and you have a great relationship with your children, because they can tell you what's going on. So at school, let's say they are having some issues. Parents, if they become withdrawn, if their grades go down, the first thing, remember, this is a relationship. So don't be too hard on them if they are withdrawn. Try to find out what's going on. And then if you find out that there's bullying going on at the school, then you need to talk with your child about it, talk to the teacher about it, talk to the principal about it, so that someone knows on record that this child is having some difficulty. If you do that, the teacher will hopefully pay attention to what's going on with the child. And then if the child says that I don't want to go back to the school, that's telling you something, that something is going on. And so you need to take action about that. There was a report that in Tennessee, there were more suicides than car accident crashes that killed people. More suicides than car accidents that killed people. That is alarming. That is very alarming. Suicide is the 10th overall reason for deaths. Suicide. Listening to the news just on yesterday, I discovered that veterinarians commit suicide at a high rate. You wouldn't think that that is possible, would be possible, but they do. And some of the issues that they are going through are stress, lack of income. Sometimes there are people who they've lost their animal. I've discovered that they may not want to pay. So there are certain issues, long hours that they work, and so they are twice the national average, veterinarians. I heard recently about a couple, and this hurt my heart. An elderly couple could not pay for their medicine. And because they could not pay for their medicine, they decided, evidently, to have a murder-suicide. So the husband took the wife's life, and then he took his own life. All because they did not have the finances, the money to carry on in life. This is alarming. The life expectancy has gone down. So here, let's just use a figure. Let's say the life expectancy was 80, but now let's say it's gone down to 79. And it's all because of the pain medicine that people take and suicides, because they're not living long enough. So life expectancy has gone down. In America, there's about 45,000 people that commit suicide every year in the United States. And those who were once military, veterans, these individuals commit suicide. 20 or 22, from 20 to 22 people take their lives every day who are veterans. Now, if it's 22, that averages out to 8,000 a year. That too is alarming. For 8,000 people to take their own life. Also in the military, I understand that most of the people who take their lives are young people. They are from the age of 30 down to 18. One study suggested that 61% of those who take their lives in the military, we're talking about active, in the military, 61% are individuals who have not been deployed. So I wrote this little book called Why I Didn't and Why You Shouldn't Commit Suicide, because I was hearing on the radio about soldiers that was committing suicide. And so I wrote this book in hopes that someone would read it. It's an inspirational book. Simply, it has a lot of stories, simply to say to people that life is more or can be more. And I tell my own story. Another statistic that I want to share with you is every 40 seconds, someone takes their own life every 40 seconds. In the world, the World Health Organization, they say that there are 800,000, and some reports says to 1 million people that commit suicide in a year. 40 seconds, every 40 seconds, someone commits suicide. So that's why I am interested in telling people about ways to prevent suicide. And maybe I will talk about that a little bit later. It is important so that we can have individuals to live a little bit longer. Now, a few other statistics before I close. There are states, 11 states mandate an annual training of suicide prevention at the schools. There are 11 states, and they mandate an annual prevention training. There are other states that have training, but it may not be mandated for them to have it. And so it is so important to have this training. I want to let you know that suicide doesn't have to happen. And when people commit suicide, it's not over. They pass the pain on to those who are still living. And so it is so important that you get help. Again, call that number. If you're in pain and you're hurting and you need help, call that number, 1-800-273-8255. Thank you for joining us for the program Deep Inside today, and we look to see you again.